and kind of knowing what we do know now and how the LGBTQ movement is pretty prevalent, do you think he should have been more open about that, and would that have impacted his career? The last time you were talking with us, we were able to reveal that Rudy Ray Moore did have, I guess, another layer to his life that he wasn't living in complete transparency, which was his sexuality. Looking back at that and kind of knowing what we do know now and how the LGBTQ movement is pretty prevalent, do you think he should have been more open about that, and would that have impacted his career?
That's a good question. I can't say that I think he should have been more open, because this is already a roadmap. We're living, God's plan. So everything is how it should have been and was made to be. But right now, he'd be in hog heaven, because he would be freer. I mean, anybody who probably was gay during that time in history until now, that's why the movement is so huge. Until now, those people have been living in pain, in secrecy. They couldn't be who they were. So yeah, Rudy would be happy now, but that time was what it was. When you look at, again, Rock Hudson's and other people. What was the movie, The Green Book? Perfect example, He was an artist who has a double life, and they're not ashamed of it. They just have to be careful how they express themselves, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I brought that up because we had Richard Pryor's original bodyguard, his former bodyguard, Rashawn Khan, on our platform to discuss Paul Mooney.
Yes.
Paul Mooney was in a similar situation. For some that feel Paul Mooney has never, at least publicly from my awareness, has mentioned it, but there has been its own suspicions.
Right.
Rashawn would go on and say that he felt that Paul Mooney, if he would have been more open about that, his career would have probably even taken off even more. So that's why I kind of made it.
And I get that. Yeah, Paul was a genius. I love it because I heard that same thing, and I love Paul saying with his response used to be, "Have you been in the bed with me?" or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, and that was great because it's nobody's business, But again, it's all about hatefulness, man, and people. Just evil, man. People trying to, and that's why, again, you know how many people have, committed suicide because they were gay? It's shameful, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous.